We are live. Emergency live stream, if we can call it that. I don't know if you noticed, but the crypto markets and the stock market, everything is crashing big time. Like, yeah, it is. And I know you already checked, but an error has occurred on X. Oof. Yes, fine. Let me see if I'll remove X from this. Fine. And we're going to stay live on YouTube. Let me just show you this beautiful thing. Look at this. Man, so we had like the biggest swing possible ever in 24 hours. And I'll tell you why as well, in case you didn't know. It's mostly because Trump posted yesterday on Trump Social that yay, we're gonna have the crypto reserve, and it's gonna be with Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, and yeah, he did that. Everything pumped up. It was amazing. Let's go and swap this to. Okay, this is the stock market. It closed already like 20 minutes ago. Yeah, Nvidia. So sorry, my friends. It is what it is, and hey, it happens. Let me just pop this message here. Okay, like always, the first comment in the chat. And I'll show it here. Yeah, you have it. That's the one. You can join the live stream if you have something to say. Share your story. And I will post this on X as well. So let me just put this here. This is perfect. This volatility at least gives me incentives to get used to being in front of a camera. As they say, you take every win you can in life. Let's see how's my sound. Yeah, that sounds okay. Cool. And and I will post this now. Tam pam pam. There's no one in my live stream, so that's fine. If I take short breaks, it's not like anyone actually gets bothered. Hop in. Cool. So, and let's share this. Okay, let's see what's happening on X for now, and probably I'll stay around for a few hours. If we get someone in to join me, that would be perfect. If not, it's good exercise. Whoa, it's been an interesting day. Can I see? Yes. This was a good message. So, this was by Nick. A lesson I learned from 20 years in this business. Investing is fucking hell until you stop caring. When you care about a result, you cannot be objective about the journey. That's completely true. If these moves hurt you, you care too much about the bull run. Accept the possibility that the bull run may never come. It is not nice to think about it, but it could happen. Now you can be objective and make decisions made on reality instead of fantasy. Uh, he's completely right, and I know it hurts. It hurts me as well. It, I think it goes differently for everyone. Everyone has its own reasons. Um, I suppose that when you get to a certain point of your investing career, you literally couldn't care less. Let's face it, if you're Elon Musk or Zuckerberg, if fluctuations in millions is not gonna actually affect you, because why should it? It's like you have to get used to it. When you're just starting investing, or if you're over leveraged, definitely you're gonna feel it. So that should tell you something. Either you're over leveraged and you should cut that shit up, or if you just started and it's affecting you that much, that means that you're putting more than you should. And I've been there. I actually am there, but that's from a different situation. I am currently working, but not in my proper position or proper industry. And that's why I started this as well, just to hopefully get to make some extra income that I can invest with time. I know it takes time. But due to medical condition, let's say I'm a bit homebound, so I'm searching for other alternative revenues compared to what I was doing before, because I was working in hospitality, and let's just face it, hospitality and moving around are kind of tied together. So me using a mobility chair doesn't really work that well in a restaurant. I'm just saying. But with this dump, I have my the Dia de los Muertos shirt, so Day of the Dead, because probably a lot of people are crying at the moment, and yeah, this is a really good advice. We should always remember it, and I hope we get there. I hope everyone gets to a point where they can actually look objective at this, and objectively looking at the markets. They will go up, they will go down. Bitcoin was 16,000, 20,000 just like a year ago, 2 years ago. So it can go back. We will have a proper market crash at some point. I still think that this is not the one, but like Nick says, always take every option into account. Okay, this is a tweet from yours truly, and this is me on Twitter. If you ever want to follow me, it's celeste.chat. Yeah, chat. It's a bit more complicated than it should, but okay. Um, Volatility is your edge. Most panic and bail when prices tank, and we can see that yes, but don't be the part of the most. Buy the fear and sell the greed. At the moment, we're still at the extreme greed, extreme fear. So it would make sense to buy or DCA. So that's why, as long as I'm too dumb to predict the markets, and I'm not a TA guy, I'm not like this guy's like, oh, it's gonna go there, up, down, whatever. The only option that I logically have is just buy every week or every month, whatever works for you and your income. It doesn't matter if you buy $10, $5. It's I have an example of a friend who's investing in the stock market. She's investing for, I don't know, a year or two. She's putting like 20 quid a month, and she didn't even realize how she got to like 5, 6K just because her investments grew as she was buying. And she's like the best example of DCAing. She set the account, she set the deposits, the buys, she created the pie with the positions. It's like, okay, MicroStrategy, Tesla, Palantir, S&P 500. That 20 quid is going in every month. That's it. She actually lost the password to the account for like half a year. Nothing changed for her. But when she looks at her account, it's positive, it's okay. Think most of us stress too much, and that's the biggest problem that we have. Jelly, this is a cool account that I follow. He was posting like 15, 16 hours ago that the Bitcoin had the CME gap, like one of the biggest CME's gaps that we had so far. So from 79,500 to we got to what, 96, I think, at some point. No? What did we get to today? Let me just check. Man, so many. I think it's much easier if we just put it on favorites. Okay, these are my favorites. As we hopefully grow the channel with your help and support, we can add more things here. These are the main ones that I follow at the moment. So today we got to the highest around 94, 96, 95. Close enough. 94,600. So from 94,600, we completely closed that. We closed that CME gap so fast, so fast. Yeah. And the reason, if you didn't know, the reason for the whole crash was not only this, actually, but this was a big chunk. So this was Donald Trump. Let's hear what he has to say.
But so we're going April 2nd, but very importantly, tomorrow tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs. In other words, but so we're going April 2nd.
I think April 2nd was for China, which was 20%. Like Trump said it, 10 with 10, so 20. Okay. So we're going to have tariffs on China. Let's see if it's going to be 20%. It's going to depend on retaliation. So if China does retaliate to tariffs, probably it's going to increase. And if everything that he said is going through, I suppose Canada and Mexico are going to have 25% tariffs on imports. Yeah. It's not only that you had revisions on GDP growth in America and you had problems with manufacturing growth, and basically everything is showing a downtrend in a way that's good when it comes to inflation, because if consumption goes down, sentiment goes down, people are scared of losing their jobs, so they're spending less. Less demand is going to be a big chunk of pressure for prices. Altogether should altogether should in theory take inflation down, and possibly if this carries on, unemployment is going to go up. That being said, I suppose the Federal Reserve will be forced to reduce interest rates, or I don't know, let's see, maybe we go towards stopping quantitative tightening. They said already, they didn't specifically say that they're going to start quantitative easing, but that might be in play. So I'm really thinking that Trump is trying to crash the market intentionally, one way or another, just to force Jerome Powell to reduce interest rates. That's where I got so far. That's yeah.
IBIT already up to $48 billion in AUM even before being added to model portfolios.
Yeah, and how about the number of holders? There's 1,113 Fs that have reported holding this ETF. So BlackRock is the 1,100th institutional holder of this ETF. Honestly, they bought it.
BlackRock, Bybit blessing, the Bitcoin blessing. Sorry, I can't even read anymore. They're adding 1 to 2% allocation to IBIT into its model portfolio. Basically, this model portfolio is going to have 1 to 2% allocation, depending on the case and whatever. It opens up potential avenue of new demand for IBIT, IBIT being their Bitcoin ETF. And at the moment, it is one of the most successful debuts on record. And I think it's actually the most successful in ETF
Earlier, there'd be a lot
history.
more, frankly, but they definitely missed the February sell-off. I agree to a degree. The important thing here is it's BlackRock. That's the world's biggest asset manager. That matters symbolically. And then the other thing is that it was put in the alt bucket. You know, I consider Bitcoin like a shiny object, a hot sauce, like a high-tech stock, like a high beta stock. But to put it in the alts is interesting. BlackRock sees this as alts, which is honestly probably better for Bitcoin to be treated as a serious alt rather than like a shiny object.
So BlackRock is making these decisions.
Yes.
What do investment advisors do then?
Well, that's the thing. BlackRock gives them all cover. Because like we had a note that said BlackRock and Vanguard are the new IBM for advisors. It used to be like if you put a client in IBM, you can never get fired, right? Now it's you put them in BlackRock or Vanguard ETFs, you can't get fired. And advisors have career risk always. So this gives them so much cover. It's like BlackRock, Larry Fink's saying it's okay. It's major.
It is major. Yeah, they're gonna move slow, but it's coming. That's the whole idea. So it's like I said, I'm not smart enough to predict the future, and I don't think anyone can. And whoever tells you that that they can see the future, trust me, they're lying or they're pumping their own bags. DCA is the way to go, but this kind of news, this is what tells me that okay, I'm not crazy. This has a future, and I'm not investing for the next 2 months, 3 months. I'm trying to look towards my retirement. And everyone should kind of do the same, because let's face it, do you really trust the pension that you're going to get from your government? Do you think they're going to be able to sustain it? And I am talking about Bitcoin because Bitcoin, it's accessible worldwide, no matter where you are around the world. I don't care if you're in a desert or if you're in India or in America or wherever you are in the world, you can access Bitcoin. And before you say, oh, but we have stocks. Yeah, I get you. And I live in UK, so I have access to investing in the stock market as well. But not everyone does around the world. And that's why I think this is not just a shiny object. This is going to become like a major thing. And if Trump really keeps his word and it's going to go through Congress and through all of these things, you have American states that are trying to implement the Bitcoin reserve as well. It's going to go mainstream. You already have countries. You have Bhutan, which is mining Bitcoin. You have Bukele, who's buying Bitcoin like one Bitcoin a day, more or less. You have countries coming.
Already up to $48 billion.
Sorry for that. There were rumors about China having like closed door discussions, because that post from Trump is going to rattle markets, is going to rattle leaders from other countries. It's going to open up, from my point of view, a lot of opportunities and discussions about Bitcoin. And it's like, okay, it's not just a shiny thing. You have more and more people who are going to wake up to this. And yeah, it's coming. It's just about having patience, about having your job, having your life and your finances set up and put in order, investing only what you can afford to lose or you don't need in the short term. Like Michael Saylor always says, no one who invested in Bitcoin lost money if they waited for at least 4 years. So it's a long-term investment. It's like gold. It took gold 15, 20 years to reach all-time high again. That's for Peter Thiel, I think his name. That made him really, really happy for 5 minutes. This is from Vlad Tenev. He is the CEO of Robinhood. And he's
what is your
talking
ultimate
about
vision here? I mean,
tokenizing.
is this going to be a place where people could buy and sell real estate one day?
I think so. I think whatever a customer wants to invest in, and there actually is an overlap with real estate between assets that you actually utilize and are also investments. And a lot of our customers are interested in that. So yeah, every asset that's investable, and even some assets that you'd like to hold in physical form, are all in scope of the vision.
What is your ultimate vision here? I mean, is this going to
Yeah, imagine if you want to buy. Ooh, I really caught him in a bad angle. You can already buy real estate with Bitcoin, or in Montenegro, for example, in Dubai, you can buy it with multiple cryptos, I think, in Dubai. But what he's saying about tokenizing real world assets, I think it would go even if, let's say, you have a house and you don't have the money to buy the whole thing, the whole property. You can tokenize it and buy small chunks, and the whole process would be much faster than now. So at the moment could take, like, I don't know, days, weeks to go through all of the process. This would make it much more fluid. So it would bring liquidity to a market that really needs it. That's going to bring volatility as well, because as we noticed in the past few days and months, people get scared like shit and they sell super fast, especially when you have a market that it's live 24/7, like the crypto market. This is a tweet from Benjamin Cohen, amazing guy. He has a website into the cryptoverse. Again, if you want a balanced, realistic view on markets and what's going on, this is the guy to watch. It's really, really good. And this post is about the crypto total market cap and fair value logarithm regression trend. Basically, if I understand it correctly, over the red line, we're going towards overvalued. Under the red line, we're going to undervalued. This means that at the moment we are undervalued. When anything is undervalued, that's when you should start buying. That's like if I learned something in investing in general, and it's for crypto markets, the stock market, fricket, even for real estate, if the markets drop, that's when you start buying. Think of it like Black Friday for investments. When everyone is taking a run towards the door, that's when you start looking. It's like, okay, what's on offer? So let's see. So we have, Solana is down 19% in one day. Maybe I should start DCAing. And by DCA, I mean dollar cost average. Don't buy everything at once, because if it's going to drop again tomorrow or the next week, you're going to be out of money. So instead of putting everything that you have in the market in one go, spread it out. Do it weekly, monthly, like I said. Let's go back to this. Cool. No, that's it. Anything interesting at the moment? Yeah. This is Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor was actually tweeting a few days ago about selling your kidneys to buy Bitcoin. Carl B. Menger, if I'm not mistaken, he's a Bitcoin maximalist. That basically means that he's only investing in Bitcoin and none of the other cryptocurrencies. I think we're gonna have to remove the currency part of the name. So he's not investing in any other crypto asset, just in Bitcoin. And it makes sense as a store of value. I still like and love and invest in Solana as well at the moment. as much as I can. I would treat Solana as a company because you're basically depending on volumes, adoption, transaction fees, and they can print more, they can take decisions and change things. I think we're going to have in a few days a vote on inflation for Solana. So if that vote goes through, inflation for Solana should go down, which is going to be really amazing. But yeah, any opinion can be listened to and not necessarily make you change your visions about life in general, but hey, why not? Fine.
At least on this announcement, seems to be leading edge. And like with leading edge, you only have a few options. It's TSMC, Intel, and Samsung. And it's really TSMC. TSMC was already spending a bunch of money here with 65 billion. It looks like from what I'm seeing that the 100 billion that they're going to invest maybe on top of that. Intel was building here, but they're actually delaying their stuff. You know, they actually just on Friday, they delayed their Ohio efforts to 2030 or even beyond. So, I mean, if somebody is going to build leading edge, a larger amount of leading edge capacity here in the US, it probably has to be TSMC. It was already them. It looks like it's going to be more. I would say 100 billion is kind of a lot. I mean, the whole CHIPS Act.
TSMC just made an announcement in the White House with Trump. We already knew from the tweets before and so on. Cheap investment in US, and it's a really smart move for TSMC, just in case something happens, God forbid, China tries to do some dodgy stuff. If they have only the manufacturing factory in Taiwan, that's going to be bad for them completely as a company. And in the same time, it's a really smart move for Trump as well, bringing cheap manufacturing in America that's going to create high-skilled jobs. With time, you can at least end up having labor force that learns the process and high earner, it creates high earning jobs as well. So at the moment, it's a win-win for America. I am sad and disappointed by Intel as well. They were trying to get funding, I think, in Germany as well during the pandemic or after the pandemic to build a factory there, but they're messing up at like every point at the moment. I don't know. Think they're going through. They might go through restructuring. I think there were rumors about someone buying them at some point. So I don't know what Intel is doing, but it happens. You always had this kind of things throughout history with companies that are amazing, but at some point they kind of lose their way. So if they don't wake up, NVIDIA, AMD are definitely eating Intel's lunch when it comes to chips, and I was hoping they're gonna go into TSMC part. Let's see if that's still going, but yeah, it's interesting at the moment. Sorry, let me just, because I don't know what happened here. We've been through this. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. This is from Tom Lee. Tom Lee, it's an
I would say
amazing
what's
guy.
interesting is Bitcoin's not had negative headlines in February, but it was down. But I know our technician, Mark Newton, had talked about this being a cyclical downturn in Bitcoin through the end of March. So he was talking mid-January, getting down to 62. The weekend...
105 to 62. That's just Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a typical...
Do the math, though. It's like, yeah, in a month, 105 to 62.
Yeah, that's a test of the result.
That hurts
bulls, right?
people that buy at 105.
Yeah, but as you know, Bitcoin makes all of its gains in 10 days. So
Yeah.
if people sort of try to time this, they're going to miss out on a chance for Bitcoin to go back to its highs.
And by the end, at some point in this year, you think it gets, because last year you thought it might get to 150 or even higher, right?
Yeah. I think it's going to do better than 150 this year.
You do?
Yeah.
US dollar?
Yes.
What? 150?
Hungarian forint.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I
what
don't
do you
know.
want?
Something that's a lot less than $150,000. That's it's a lot better than a lot higher than 150.
That's right. Because it's becoming more widely held.
Yeah.
If Citadel starts trading it, it starts to have more broad acceptance.
Okay. Tom Lee, thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, that was hilarious. Okay, so wow. Okay, they were completely right. I think there were a lot of people calling for 70, 60. The way things are going at the moment, and I didn't check the market, but yeah, it's at 85,700 at the moment. So we did drop today to 85,170. So I don't know if it's gonna hold or not. If it does reach 60, whatever that's gonna be, like, I don't know, 40%, close to 40% drop in a matter of a month. So if we say that the crypto markets are volatile, that's an understatement. And this is in theory, a bull market. Yeah, I'm still gonna call it a bull market. Let's see if I'm wrong or not. But think about it like this: if Bitcoin is dropping from 108 to 85 at the moment, let's say 70, do you really want to know what's happening to your altcoins, the Solanas, Ethereums, and I don't even want to go down the line. Probably that's why most, let's call them reasonable influencers that I see are recommending somewhere around 80%, 90% in Bitcoin. And if you want to diversify, put the rest of 10% and 20% in something else. Probably that's why. Kind of makes sense. And if this is a bull market, trust me, in a downturn market, and we're going to have one, we're definitely going to have one. There's always going to be a recession. We will have crap markets and bull markets. And you never know exactly when it's going to start. People are saying a recession might come in the end of 2025, 2026. But in the same time, you had people calling for recessions for 2-3 years now. So always be prepared. Always have some cash on the side. And yeah, try to ride the waves as good as you go. This is Tom Lee just said that he doesn't think AI spending is really going to weaken. And I don't think so either. I think we might still be at the beginning, maybe not in the same way. I don't think it makes sense to, at some point, they're going to have to take a break. I know, for example, OpenAI, Sam Altman, I think his name is, he was saying that he's still waiting for GPUs, and he's going to have more GPUs coming in, I think this week or next week, for the new version of GPT. So there's still more demand. AI is still going to eat a lot of it, but we'll see for how long. You will have stagnating at some point. Yeah, basically this is exactly what I'm saying. Low target. This was I was responding to a tweet from Ivan. So Morgan Stanley reiterates Tesla is the top pick in US autos with $430 price target. And currently it is $284. So that would be quite a decent increase in price, wouldn't be? And my response to that was low target, high target. Who knows, man? No one knows. As we saw today was what, 4% down. So you DCA and we move forward. That's about it. Cool. And let's do something else before we go. Let's react to this beauty. This is Meet Kevin. I haven't seen this. It's a video he posted 1 hour ago. I know he's definitely a bear at the moment, or as bare as they can get. But man, they have some blue skies there. So let's see what he's saying. So the title is, My God, It's Worsening. Why Stocks Are Falling. So fine, let's have a look.
Hey, the numbers that just came out are even worse than they were just a few days ago. Now, in this video, I want to take the emotion out of this and just be very matter of fact with what the data is. I will give you my opinion towards the end because I do think at least some of you value my opinion. That said, if you don't, that's okay. You can cut out after that part or after we go through some of the data. But let's start with the data because this morning we got S&P global manufacturing numbers. We got ISM manufacturing numbers, prices paid, new orders, employment numbers. And then as a result of that, the GDP Now data updated. So the GDP Now data actually, a week ago, it was at positive 2.3% for GDP. And this Friday, we did a video where it fell down to negative 1.5%, right? You saw that right here, negative 1.5%. We went from this sort of stable 2.5% to 3% range. Then we fell to negative 1.5%. Well, just updated again. And now for today, we're sitting at a real GDP estimate of negative 2.8%. Now,
and because I don't know, probably he's going to mention it as well. This is an estimate, and they're updating it. They updated last week to minus 1.8, now to minus 2.8. They might revise it up in the future as well, so it's not set in stone. This is just an estimate. But yeah, it looks like things are taking a complete dump. The US economy is slowing down, actually going into shit. But don't worry, guys, you're not alone. UK is not looking that good. Europe is not looking that good either. So at least we're all going through this together. The only biggest fear that or worry that I had, and I still have actually, is that America was, from my point of view, the thing that was keeping the world still standing. So that was like, okay, if America is holding on, maybe we can avoid a global recession. And it's not about the stock market. It's mostly about us, the little guys, because let's face it, rich people, yeah, they're going to suffer because they're going to see their numbers go down. Maybe they're going to take less trips with their private jets. But the ones that actually get toasted, it's us, because we're going to lose jobs. You're going to have, again, if you have already, where in Florida, I think you have real estate agents complaining that they have so many listings for properties and no one is actually going for viewings, because why would they? If you have a dump in the property market as well, the stock market, crypto market, you're going to have layoffs, people losing their jobs. In America, you have Dodge that is doing, the Department of Government Efficiency is doing a great job of firing people as well. So that's going to be hard for the little guy, unfortunately.
I'm going to give the same disclaimer about this before I go through some of the more granular data that we have here. It's really important to remember that this Atlanta Fed GDP data set is very volatile because they're just taking the most recent data sets and they're going to weigh those the highest. So the most weight is on your most recent data. In fact, in my last video, I said, hey, we can get one good report and it'll go from down to just straight up again. But because we got another negative one, it actually went deeper down. That's a Delta flight. Holy crap. It's right side up.
That's so cool. He's recording. Okay, he's recording from his private jet. And I think he just got the pilot license as well. He's a really cool dude. If you want to Can I actually add this? Oh, I think I can add it. I'll add this in the description so you can see his channel as well. He has cool views on the market.
Everybody's okay. Everybody's okay. I know, maybe too soon. Anyway, sorry. So it's very sensitive, and the fact that this next data set came out is, and it's as negative as it is why now we see a negative 2.8 on the Atlanta Fed Real GDP Now forecast. Now, remember, it's taking that latest data basically from February and applying it to the entire quarter. So that's why you get these extreme moves, because GDP, we know it doesn't move that quickly. Quick note also, you might be wondering why I'm here. I am really happy to share this, but this is about to be, I'm about to take off in this, except I'm going to be flying it for the first time ever. I got this for Christmas 2 years ago. Really cool. Still giddy about it. But I'm actually going to be at the controls today, which is kind of crazy. And so I'm pretty stoked about that. You know, a lot of studying the flight manuals and emergency procedures and stuff. But that means today, I'll be sitting right here, left seat, and I'll be flying my own pee-pee. That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Man, if you ever feel down or you feel like you need getting motivated, this dude is freaking amazing. I don't know where and what kind of Red Bull he puts in his veins, but besides having like working on 1, 2, 3 companies, whatever, his YouTube channel, courses and things like that, he has a real estate company as well. He just passed his license now for like being a pilot. He's done amazing things for himself and hopefully for others as well. Plus he has like 5, 6 kids, I think at the moment. So if you ever feel down or you're like, oh, I'm not in the mood to do a thing, I don't have enough energy to go to the gym, or it's like, bro, think about other people and the fact that, hey, if you really want something, get off your ass and do it. That's about it. Just get off your ass, start doing it. You're gonna fall down, but you're gonna get up. And he fell down plenty of times. The part with the PP, he had an ETF that he opened. He had to close it. I haven't invested in the ETF, but yeah, I think it wasn't profitable for him anymore. He couldn't cover the cost and everything, so he was forced to close it. I think he was saying at some point that he had a real estate company, something in renovations and things like that, that seemed like a while ago, and that went belly up as well, where he decided to close it. So you will have failures, but if you're determined and you're willing to put the work, hey, great things can happen. Just don't give up and trust yourself. No one is perfect, and there's no one that can say, oh, I haven't failed ever, or I didn't have any like downturns. Yeah, keep yourself motivated, and it is what it is.
Clean up these touch screens. What is this? That's the first thing I thought when I got in here. I go, come on, bro. I know they're touch screens, but damn. But anyway, honestly, I can't wait to do this. Oh, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway,
you can see that
okay.
thing on the screen.
I guess I just did it. No, but I want to feel the horsepower at takeoff. So at elevation, you're looking at probably about 2,400 horsepower each. The engines combined, and at cruise, you're probably closer to like 9,600 horsepower. It's a little different than cars in that these turbine engines are calculated with thrust, and so velocity matters. So you're obviously slower when you're on the ground than when you're up there. Anyway, let's get into the data. So S&P Global Manufacturing this morning came in a little bit better than expected at 52.7. This was one of the contributors to this data set. The survey was for 51.6. It's so hot in Florida too. Dang.
Yeah, I know. The stock market is burning.
Here, but I need to be wearing beach attire. Where are my shorts here? Anyway, bro, trying to make a movie over here.
Movie?
I don't know if you can hear that, but it's annoying to me. So the manufacturing PMI actually came in better than I expected this morning, which you think, okay, well, that should be good, right? The problem was the S&P manufacturing report this morning said, hey, look, manufacturing expanded. Things accelerated. This was great. However, they basically asterisked it. They said there's some evidence that sector expansion was partly driven by advanced purchases ahead of likely price increases and possible supply disruptions related to future tariff impositions in the coming month. New work rose to the greatest degree in
I'm not sure about that because I think there was a lot of importing coming in Q1, just because companies were trying to front run the tariffs. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna have like enough to cover until everything calms down, but we'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, even though Trump says that wow is gonna be amazing for America, usually tariffs are gonna be paid by the consumer, like it or not.
year, with firms pointing to a stronger market for demand for their goods in February. But growth was primarily driven by client restocking, with customers reportedly keen to get ahead of higher prices and possible supply challenges. International demand remained a noticeable drag, however, on the overall order books, with new export sales dropping in February for a ninth month in a row and to the greatest degree since last November. Now, that's really interesting because you've got to kind of piece this together for a moment. The last GDP decline that we got was in part because of a lack of exports to other countries. So that continues in this S&P report. So that continues to be a drag, that we're exporting less to other countries. That could be, again, that punishment or that boycotting that we're seeing, Canada, Mexico, and otherwise, right?
No, bro, look, it is like most of the countries are either borderline recession or I don't think it's like repercussions for the tariffs that much. But yeah, fine. Let's say, I don't know, weird noises close to me. But let's say it's repercussions.
But in addition to that, the only good news, the reason we're beating is simply because companies are trying to pull forward or get in front of tariffs. So tariff uncertainty is creating some real oopsie doopsie. Now, this wasn't really the bad stuff. The next data set was even worse. But before we hit that next data set, I want you to see for a moment, this is The Economist. I'm going to be clear here. And remember, we're starting with just the data and the facts, okay? The Economist does not like Donald Trump. That doesn't make them bad, but they don't like Donald Trump. America is at risk of a Trumpian economic slowdown. And as you read it, beyond the noise, a few themes stand out. I scrolled past most of this for you. I just want to give you the bottom line stuff, okay? Beyond the noise, a few themes stand out, and they mostly hint at an intensification of worries in the coming months. Even if Trump again delays imposing tariffs on Canada and Mexico, which are due to take effect tomorrow, just like he did just like he did a month ago, he seems determined to raise tariffs on friends and foes alike, a more aggressive lurch towards protectionism than during his first term. As higher prices weigh on consumption and manufacturing, his tariffs could lop off a percentage point from America's growth rate, according to analysts at Morgan Stanley. Measures of uncertainty about trade policy have spiked higher, meaning businesses may restrain from making investments. This is
There's nothing more that companies, markets, and anyone actually dislikes than uncertainty. And hey, good news, we have certainty now, apparently. In his press conference, Trump said that no, definitely the tariffs for Canada and Mexico are on from Tuesday, which I'm not sure what time it is for you guys in America, but Tuesday is coming. And if I don't know, I know he's flip-flopping all the time, and I mean by that I mean Trump, but there's nothing on Truth Social yet. So just Yeah, there was a post from him from like 2-3 hours ago. To the great farmers of United States, get ready to start making a lot of agricultural product to be sold inside of the United States. Tariffs will go on external product on 2nd of April. Have fun. Yeah. Think that was the moment that the market started crashing again. Yeah.
What we talked about in the last video, that when people start pulling back on wanting to make investments, they stop spending as much money on, there you go, they stop spending as much money on some of those durable goods, new cars, new fridges, kitchen remodels. And honestly, this we're going to go back to some data here because we got a lot of data that came out this morning. I'm just trying to break it up, and I like to be very clear when it's my opinion. Okay, so this next part here is my opinion, and then right back to the data. This morning, course members asked me, "Oh, Kevin, should we get a home equity line of credit? Should we invest that into stocks or whatever?" I said, look, I'm not anyone's personal financial advisor. My take is that at this point in where we are in the economy, I don't feel comfortable saying anybody should have debt in the stock market. I'm not saying go run and hide and sell everything. Just why would you take on extra debt? Now, if you wanted to take on debt to have optionality when the market crashes, that if it does, we don't know that it will. Maybe that could be cool. I remember during COVID, mind you, like I want to be Mr. Buy the Dip. I feel like I was the definition of buy the dip. I mean, look at the YouTube song, right? Meet Kevin Buy the Dip. Like I feel like I was the definition of buy the dip, and this is why people are like, oh, Kevin's a flip flopper. Well, no, it's just because I honestly have concerns right now, and I just feel wrong saying, yeah, take on debt and go buy the dip. I've got a lot of people in retail right now who hit me up. Oh, reverse structures, nice. A lot of people in retail right now, they're like, oh, but Kevin, I want to get Leaps. I want to get Tesla Leaps, 12, 24 months out. I want to get, Palantir Leaps or whatever. And then I say, okay, how's your valuation looking on them? And they're like, what do you mean? It was red for 3 days in a row. I just want to buy Leaps. And I'm like, all right. That makes me nervous. When everybody's still in the mindset of like, yeah, man, we got to get some Leaps. I'm like, oh, no. So that's my opinion. Okay, we're going to go back to data in just a second. But my take is don't take on debt right now. Don't go buy that Sprinter van. Don't go do the kitchen remodel. Okay, minimize your expenses right now. I just became a pilot. I'm instrument rated. I'm multi-engine rated, and I'm getting type certified so I can fly this. I'm becoming aware of things I just was never aware of before as a pilot, but I'm like, what? Y'all charge me $700 to update the damn databases? You know how?
Basically, he's saying just try to stay safe, like protect whatever you have at the moment. Don't overspend, don't go over the top. This is not the moment with so much uncertainty. And yeah, normally when markets go down, you would say like you would say buy the dip and never, or who was saying, I think there was someone else who was saying like buy the dip and never trip. I don't remember exactly who, but yeah, going into debt to buy anything at the moment doesn't really make sense, just because, man, Trump was throwing numbers like 50% tariffs and 40% tariffs, and after that you have, oh, but they're gonna retaliate, so we're gonna increase it, and so on. So much uncertainty. We don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, DCA, but no leverage. Because if, like he said, if people stop spending and the economy is going down, what do you think your company is gonna do? They're gonna reduce cost. What's the biggest cost they have? It's you. So if you're out of a job and you took another mortgage on your house or whatever, you're screwed. And if you did that and prices on real estate are dropping like a rock, then what are you gonna do? Because the bank is gonna knock on your door and they don't give a shit. And what he was saying about buy the dip, this is the buy the dip song.
Man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay. I am with you, with you. Oh man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay. I am with you. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
First of all this whining by Wall Street is making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. GameStop was short. You can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of its stocks, crush these companies into the dirt, thousands of stocks into the dirt. Then when the individual makes money, everyone's entrepreneurs. I have a kid who bought a house, paid $50,000 and bought a house. After decades of the short, you have to accept the fact that individual investors are playing the same game that you're playing, and now you're losing.
Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip.
Yeah. And that's Doge. I think that's when the Dogecoin appeared or something. And that's when you had the GameStop and the short squeeze. Those were weird times, man. I was in uni back then, and one of my uni teachers was he was pumping GameStop. I was like, why would you do that? And it was when it was already at the like peak of peak. It was like the top of the tops. Crazy times.
How easy that is. I'll do it myself. And it's not because I'm desperate for the $700, but it's because I'm like, what am I paying you to do, to take out Garmin Pilot on the iPad and hit update when I can do that? Why am I paying you $700 to do that? That's insane. That's 2 times a month. That's $350 a time. That's insane. And my belief is that a lot of people are going to start doing that. A lot of people are going to start, looking at their bank statements and going, the fuck? Why have I been paying for this? Cancel that. Cut that. It's the economic cycle very rarely goes from expansion to hyper expansion to slowdown to hyper expansion, right? You kind of have to continue the circle. You have to go through a downturn before you can get back to expansion. So I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen. I'm just saying I'd rather be prepared for any externality, right? With HouseHack, my real estate startup, I would rather be in a place where it's like, hey, if the market crashes and we can go bottom feed fixer-uppers and help people with affordable rentals, we'll do that.
So you need money to do that.
If the economy keeps going, cool. We got strategies for that too. But we're not going to go bankrupt, So anyway.
And you don't go bankrupt if you have money.
This
and what you were saying about the cost. Like I said, I live in UK. Man, I have friends mostly who work in hospitality, I'll admit, but it doesn't really matter if they're like waiters, chefs, managers, general managers. I have cinema managers as well that I know. Everyone is complaining about money, the cost of living, and you have people who are making like 50,000-60,000 a year. I'm talking about general managers and so on. First of all, they already know that they're not going to see any bonus on sales this year. They're like, that's not possible. It's like the decrease in sales compared to the year before, it's like 15-20%. So all of the hopes that they would have had for any kind of bonus, like performance bonus, completely gone. And they are starting to tighten up. They're like, man, things are going wild. I can't see this going good for long. Something has to give. Like I said, we are hoping for a soft landing, but it's really hard to manage. We're hoping we're gonna get there, but like I said, Kevin is quite a bear right now. And he's not saying sell everything and run away. He's just saying, okay, tighten up a bit, slow down, don't go with leverage. In crypto markets, we had so many people got margin call that I don't know. I lost count. So many people got toasted, and trust me, I've been there. I lost shitloads of money as well with leverage. I don't recommend it to anyone. I burned myself. You don't have to do it. Kevin lost shitloads of money as well with leverage. Trust me, he wouldn't recommend it either.
Morning. So that was the 645 data. Then at 7, we got construction spending. Survey was negative 0.1%. We got negative 0.2%. Not a big deal. ISM manufacturing, same thing with the pull forward. We got 50.3. It was actually a miss versus the 50.7. Here we go. Prices paid 62.4 versus the survey of 56. So stagflationary, right? Not good. ISM new orders. Okay. So people are trying to get all their existing orders in. But then what's happening with new orders, which is more forward-looking? Survey says 54.6. The last read, 55.1. This read, 48.6.
Worse than that.
That was a pooper. And so when you actually look at it, here you go. February 2025 manufacturing. What do we have? Manufacturing activity. Okay, blah, blah. The new orders index dropped back into contraction after expanding for 3 months. So in other words, it expanded, after people were getting excited about Donald Trump, right? Now it's back into contraction, which is like, crap, that's not good. I don't want to be in a contractionary market, right?
No one wants
I'm telling you, I want to be the bull. But anyway, the February production.
The only possible thing that I would see would be forcing the hand of the Federal Reserve to would be forcing Jerome Powell's hand to cut interest rates. And as I said, this is coming faster than we expect. I think people are expecting 2 cuts. Maybe we see more than that. Maybe we see bigger cuts than we expect. And yeah, we're starting to notice some bits and pieces of stagflation. That's even worse because really no one wants that. I'm still trying to keep positive, but we'll see. Let's see if Kevin is right. We'll only find out later on.
Index is 1.8 percentage points lower than January's figure. The new orders index was 6.5 percentage points lower than what was recorded in January. Prices index surged further into the expanding territory, up 7.5 percentage points from where it was in January. Suppliers index indicated further slowing of deliveries, however, and indications that demand weakened included that new orders dropped back into contraction, new export orders expanded at a slower rate. So in other words, there's that export hit again. The new orders are slowing down. Backlog of new orders it was still in contraction. So in other words, people are like, all right, give me what I ordered and then I'm done. And then you get this talk here. Although tariffs don't go into force until mid-March, spot commodity prices have already risen about 20%. Okay, now we have some more data. So this explains why we're seeing some of the poopy doopy. Now, what do we do with this information? Are we definitely
run to the hills?
No, absolutely not. We're definitely not definitely screwed. We're maybe screwed, but we're definitely not definitely screwed. Does any of that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, so
yeah, it does.
What does this actually mean for us? Well, what this actually means is Wall Street is going to become hyper vigilant and responsive to data now. And I think basically when you get these data sets, if you're not paying attention, not to what the Fed's saying, but to every single one of these data sets, you're going to get blindsided on your trades because you're going to go, oh man, the algos are ruining my trades again. Well, no, duh, because they're programmed to this data. So the second the data comes out, expect volatility. And if you're not expecting volatility after the data comes out, it's an oopsie doopsie. Now, all of this could turn around. Like Donald Trump could, by the way, you know why they put the stop sign so low? Y'all know I'm really good with stop signs. So is that guy. Anyway, you know why
No
going
idea
from the
why.
other direction. Anyway, you know why the stop signs are so low? So you can fly over them. While you're taxiing. But anyway, what this means is It's not the Fed talking that matters. It's paying attention to the continuity of this data. And if Donald Trump flips and says, you know what, forget it, cancel all the tariffs like he did last time, yes, we could go back into expansion. But here's what you really need to go back into expansion. Look at this. We got hay, or it's actually grass, and a taxi light. What you really need to go back into expansion is kill these damn tariffs, okay? Tariffs are a dead weight loss. They're a bad thing economically. I don't like it. I don't
No
like
one
tariffs,
does.
okay? I get it. I get why they're doing it. We had a little bit of a debate in the comments section the other day. I understand, okay? The whole idea of, oh, trade deficits are bad is that it hurts American manufacturers. Yes, it does, but it actually benefits American consumers because when we can order better stuff cheaper from other countries, that is deflation for American consumers, which is what we want, okay? Am I going to pay $3,000 for a German Miele dishwasher that's really hard to get service for? Or am I going to get a $499 dishwasher made by GE, comes with a warranty, and it's made in Mexico? It does the same damn thing. It makes your dishes clean, okay? That's a form of deflation. Now, of course, Donald Trump's going to say, but that's bad for American manufacturers. Okay, then go figure out how to get the unions to pay wages that are even competitive to what you can pay for in Mexico. Oh, wait, you can't.
That's completely impossible. Tell me any American that would work on the same wages that the Mexican would. And it's the same because you have this thing with deglobalization now, and England is the same. Oh, we want to bring manufacturing back home. First of all, ask yourself, how many of your young ones do they really want to work in low-skilled positions? And with what wage? Are they willing to work with this equivalent that they would do it in Mexico, for example, in that case? Not really, in order to make it competitive. I'm actually a fan of globalization, but things are taking a weird turn at the moment. So let's see. Everyone is okay. I do get bringing manufacturing of things that go towards national security. So, and I completely understand why you would want chips manufacturing in your own country. If shit breaks down, you really need, in the world order or whatever, you have wars or things like that, you want your own chips to be manufactured in your own country. For example, I suppose China right now is pushing a lot on their own companies to have an equivalent or something similar to Nvidia. Why? Because they have restrictions and tariffs and so on Nvidia chips. Makes sense for them to have something in-house. The same with Trump pushing for manufacturing of chips in America. It completely makes sense. But do you really want to bring home all of the manufacturing? As long as you don't have robotics at the point where you can have like the harder jobs be done by robots, harder, boring, low-skill jobs be done by robots, and after that you create higher skill jobs for your people, then it would make sense. Yeah, then you can bring it home. Until then, and I'm not saying it's not coming, it's coming. Robotics is coming. Yeah, robots are gonna take our jobs anyway, but there's still time. And even TSMC, yeah, until they're gonna invest, I don't know how much, 100 million, billion, whatever. It's gonna take time to create to build that factory.
Because people in Mexico are earning $3.50 an hour at these manufacturing facilities, and union workers in America are making $35 an hour. So it's a it's a 10x difference. So it's like, oh well, Americans should support American. That's fine. Then pay higher prices. You could also pay German if you wanted to, and pay rip-off prices. Like that. That's the free market will send manufacturing where it is cheapest to do so. It's a very simple, easy game. So this idea.
That's why you have manufacturing for so long in China. Now, okay, they're diversifying, so now you're starting to have manufacturing get bigger and bigger in India, for example, and so on. So, but yeah, bring it back in UK. Most of the stuff, let's be honest, no one is gonna do those jobs or for
that,
those prices.
you know, a trade
salaries.
deficit is bad is yes, it's bad for union workers and manufacturers, but it's great for people who are consuming.
For us,
maybe I'm just bitter
consumers.
because these turbines right here, I'm not really bitter about this. I just think it's funny. It's a reference. See these turbines right here? You know where those suckers are from? Canada. I don't want tariffs on this. You know how much the tariffs are going to cost me on that? I mean, whatever it is. I always say, listen, tell me what the rules are and I'll follow the rules. But I would make the argument that just blatantly, if we really want to go back to growth, stop the tariffs. Stop the count. I mean, the tariffs. After you stop the tariffs, then you need something that actually supports the economy. You need some throttle, right? Even the economists said it here. Because the first thing that you had was for tariffs hurt, right? But the thing that was supporting the economy after Donald Trump won was hope. But right now, I made this analogy in my course member live stream this morning. I made this argument that it's sort of like we're on a plank, okay? So imagine I'm on a boat and there's like a plank coming out of this, but it's like a rickety-dickety plank. And you're standing on it, and it's like wobbly. And underneath you are a bunch of stalagmites or sharks. I don't know, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Like we're on a shaky platform, and tariffs hurt. It's like somebody threw a bag of like coal at you, and you're holding it, and now you're on the plank with all this extra weight. It's like, come on, man. I still have faith in you, bro, but it's getting a little hard to stay up over here. Really, what you need is Trump to go, let's take the coal off, okay? And then let's walk you back to like good land, and let's give you some tax breaks, okay? That's now all of a sudden you could get back to growth because that's what people have been anticipating. But if you're out there holding coal, and it's like, nah, man, we're going all in with the tariffs. Things are going to get worse before they get better. Sorry, bro. You're like, I don't know how much longer I can keep this. What about the tax breaks? Next year, bro. Dude, I can't handle this for a year. And you fall into recession. Okay.
And he dropped the call. He's like, okay, no. It's like Canada and Mexico tariffs are coming into effect from Tuesday. Boom, shakalaka. We are going to have 20% on China. And what else? He was like, okay, let's see with UK. Maybe tariffs. Maybe we get a deal. Who knows? And after that, who knows? Maybe we're going to start with the rest of Europe, right? Why not? He's warm now. He's getting warmer. The guy is like, he's on a roll. So yeah.
So what the underlying economy has already not been that good. You know, I was just reading, I think it wasn't Credit Agricole. It was somebody this morning, finally, because the institutions, they've been so, everything's fine. And I'm like, man, y'all just,
I don't think
are you
anyone
not
was
looking at the
trusting
underlying
or
data?
believing. I don't think anyone was actually believing Trump. And this is what screwed a lot of people because everyone was like, no, it's the art of the deal. And he's just like playing it hard and so on. Yeah. Let's see. Man, I'm still looking to see if he's changing his mind, but not sure about that. Plus the whole thing with Ukraine and Russia, and but that's his big play to get like another deal when it comes to resources.
And then I
That is
finally
fine.
saw a piece. Oh, it was Academy Securities this morning. They wrote, the economy is not as good as current data suggests. And they talk again about the Bureau of Labor Statistics and how, broken some of their measures are. We're waiting for headlines from the Zelensky war, the Russia-Zelensky issue. We're waiting for tariffs. We don't know what to make of this art of the deal thing. We don't know what to make of jobs data that's coming out this Friday. The jobs data this Friday is supposed to be good, like 160,000 jobs or whatever. But what if we get a bad report? These are just things that people are going to be nervous about. So where is the economy headed? Nobody knows. The economy will be more difficult with, what is this? Let's see. Finally, what we've seen on equity, away from the Russell 2000, so away from small caps, no duh, has been more about. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no problem. Okay, sorry. Stupid thing just died, but I read it all earlier. They're basically like more away. People are moving in stocks away from some of the risk, right? The smaller caps deemed to be a little bit more risk, going a little bit more into credit quality. Personally, and this is my personal vote, I'm still a TLT bull. I know that I've been bullish on TLT since July. I know it had done very poorly because of Donald Trump's victory, and then the Fed cutting rates 100 basis points, leading TLT to go up, or I'm sorry, bond yields to go up 100 basis points, because that makes a lot of sense. But anyway, you know, I think we're getting closer to where it makes sense, where it's like, yeah, if we get any kind of shock, TLT could be going straight to the moon. So those TLT January 2026 and January 2027 options are still looking pretty juiced, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. So I want to be clear, data versus opinion here. So what's the bottom line of all this? The bottom line out of all of this, frankly, is we don't know, but times are uncertain. That's obvious.
Yeah.
And I think it calls for being cautious. Now, I understand some people are going to look at me and go, oh, but Kevin, if everybody who listens to you cuts, then we're going to self-fulfill a recession. I mean, I don't think everybody's going to listen to me, and that's fine. But I told my course members this morning, I want to be in a place.
Both of them are true. Not everyone is going to listen to him, and usually the other part with if everyone does that is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's the idea of, let's say my dad has a restaurant, and I tell him, Dad, I think the economy is going to shit and we're going to go through a recession, and he's going to start restructuring the business, and he's not going to invest that much into it because he's not going to put that much money into advertisement, let's say, or something like that. He's going to cut costs as much as he can. By doing that, the quality of the business is going to go down if he doesn't put new screens or new cutlery or things like that. He's cutting the advertisement, so less people see and find out about our family business. That's going to pretty much kind of create or fulfill the prophecy, because if you do that, you're going to have less people coming in, and you're going to say, it's like, you see, I knew there's like recession is here, recession is coming. Cool. Yeah.
Where everybody who watched my content and said, you know what, I'm going to make the right decision, get out of debt or minimize my debt, minimize my downside exposure. It's hard to do with one hand. They survived the recession or even just tumult.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whatever it is, they survived. That's what I want, because I don't want to see people get hurt. I understand there are hopes for like, oh, but if we YOLO in now, we can make big dollar hollers or whatever.
Don't YOLO.
But look at Warren Buffett. I know it's hard to when things are booming, but the thing about Warren Buffett is he protected that downside. And I think we'd all be wise to actually look at some of this data and say, look, can it all rocket back up? Yeah. And remember the conditions for it. Reducing this trade war, minimizing some of the geopolitical tension, though that's not as big of a deal. Minimizing the trade war would help. And then actually getting some of these tax cuts going. But so far, even as the economist said, things are a little chaotic. We don't, oh, that's a Cirrus taking off. We don't know where we are with Great Planes, by the way. People call them the Rolls Royce of single prop planes, or just smaller planes in general. But anyway, we don't know where we're going with tariffs. We don't know where we're going with geopolitics. Again, tariffs much more of an issue because of that pull forward of demand. You're getting that up in demand. Now you're getting this sort of realization of down. People are taking their orders and they're done. People are complaining about who's going to pay for the tariffs, blah, 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 blah. And then where do we go from there? Well, then it turns into, okay, are people ready to spend like they're super optimistic? Now it's time for people to put their money where their mouth is. And so far, we just haven't been in a place where people are willing to put their money where their mouth is because everybody's waiting. Anyway, so
because there's
I
no
hope that helps.
clarity.
Yeah, we'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye. Good luck, everyone. Really appreciate y'all supporting the channel. Consider subscribing. See you soon. Bye.
Yeah, let me just like his video because yeah, he has a quite a valid point. I know he's a bear that like he said, it doesn't mean that you have to sell everything. It doesn't mean that you have to panic and hide. But in the same time, exactly like he said, hey, don't remortgage your house just to buy to put it in the stock market. Don't over leverage yourself because you might end up regretting it. Yeah, that's about it for me. It's close to 11 o'clock where I am in the evening. I'm a bit tired, so 1 hour and 20 minutes going live. We're getting through this. Cool, guys. Let's have a last look at what's going on here. Nothing much. I think it's stabilizing. So things still look... Oh, let's put it like this. Looks more decent. Palantir is the one that... one of the winners of the day. Palantir and Tesla. Cool. Let me... Can I show you this? Yes, I can. This is how we're looking at the moment with prices. So Bitcoin 86 to 150. So nothing there. 142 on Solana. I think it got to 178, man. Whoa, that was a wild ride. There was someone, no one knows who, and I think it was someone with insider knowledge, because they managed to take like 50x leverage yesterday, a few hours before Trump's post on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, and like a few million, like quite a few million. And they had that amazing trade yesterday with, oh, we're going to have the crypto reserve with Bitcoin and Ethereum and so on. They took like 5-6 million in profits, I think, or something like that. And I'm not sure if this info is correct, but I think today at some point before all of the announcements of tariffs, they shorted the market. So that kind of sounds like insider trading to me, but because it's crypto, it's not illegal yet. So that's why we need SEC to do his job. We need some proper rules for crypto markets. We really need it. That's about it for me, guys. I'm not sure if there's any point in checking. Let me see if there's anything new on Twitter, but no. As long as we have uncertainty in the markets, it's quite hard to go up, because analysts don't know what to project. No one knows what to project. People are worried they're going to lose their jobs. We're hoping for the best moving forward. Like I said, the only, let's say, positive part would be this forcing the hand for lower interest rates, maybe quantitative easing faster than we expect, because no one can predict, but we'll see. And I'll be here, hopefully not alone in the future, so you're welcome to join me. Like always, as I said, if you ever want to actually join me live, I will have this link there as well. And that's it. Have a good day. Have a good night. Love you all. And I should end the stream.